Accounting is not flashy. It's not probably going to make you famous. But if you want a profession that opens doors, builds credibility, gives you some long-term flexibility, accounting is still one of the best games in town. Everybody needs accountants. Businesses are mandated by law to have their accounts done. So that makes accountants and accounting firms useful. Is accounting a smart career choice? And the skills that make an accountant great have never been more valuable. We're talking here strategy, insight, judgment, risk assessment to a degree, communication, messy stuff, the relationship stuff, the family businesses, the complex. But this episode is for a couple of types of people. Is accounting a smart career choice? Let's get one thing out of the way. Accounting is not flashy. It's not something you get kudos from at dinner parties or social gatherings. It's not probably going to make you famous. It's not a wild career. It's not an adrenaline play. But if you want a profession that opens doors, builds credibility, gives you some long-term flexibility, accounting is still one of the best games in town. We've spoken a lot here on the Accounting Influencers podcast, helping accountants be more relevant and influential and informed in their roles. We've talked a lot about the brand of accounting, and we've mentioned talent as well and why some people are coming into other careers than accounting. Career graduates from accounting are going down. 75% of the profession is going to retire in the next 5 to 10 years. So people are getting out. People are leaching out of accounting. Some are coming in. But this episode is for a couple of types of people. First, those that are thinking of getting into accounting. We have a lot of students and younger people, entry-level positions all over the world. And they are contemplating a career in accounting, looking at the next 30, 40 years. If we do have a long-term career in anything, people don't stick to jobs like they used to. And the second type of person we're aiming at is those that are already in accounting and questioning whether you should stay. You might feel stuck, worn down, a little bit at a crossroads. This might help you see the bigger picture and help you decide what's next. I talk to people regularly that are coming out of accounting or disillusioned with the way their career is going, particularly with the disruptive elements of AI, private equity, tech, automation, all kinds of things like that. So let's start with the obvious. Everybody needs accountants. Businesses are mandated by law to have their accounts done. So that makes accountants and accounting firms useful. And that means you're always going to have options. There's always going to be a demand for a service that is required by law. And whether you're in whatever sector, retail, tech, construction, sport, everybody's got to have the numbers managed. Everyone's got to submit accounts and be compliant. So if you understand the money, you understand how things work, you are the guardian of the business community and you understand the data as well. So that's good news. Probably though, we've got to mention that the profession is under fire. AI, ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, it is changing the game. It is automating tasks. There's downward pressure on compliance fees. There's less value on that historical focus where accountants have often lived and felt comfortable. The CPA or chartered accountant licensing is changing, or at least should be changing, to reflect the fact that a lot of stuff that accountants were truly valued for can be done at the push of a button. AI can pass accounting qualifications now. So AI is automating the task. Private equity is muddying the waters. It's driving consolidation. Firms are evolving. The old traditional partnership model is under stress, and the game is changing. But the truth is that the number of roles being cut or made irrelevant through accounting, they are small still compared to the number of roles that are perhaps being reimagined or reinvented. And the skills that make an accountant great have never been more valuable. We're talking here strategy, insight, judgment, risk assessment to a degree, communication, the messy stuff, the relationship stuff, the family businesses, the complex decision-making. These are things that the machines, the robots can't do, where there's people involved. People are unpredictable, emotional creatures. So if you can have one foot in the technical and one foot in the people side of things, the emotional side, you will always do well. And we did a recent episode on this show about where AI will never take over your job. And that is in the complex project management with lots of moving parts and people and teams involved. So that's the good news, is that robots won't take over that stuff. But there is a flip side, because we hear a lot about mental health, stress, burnout. This is real. At the hours in public practice, particularly at busy seasons and heavy deadlines, can be brutal. If you want to go into the big firms as well, they will extort, is that the right word? A pound of flesh out of you. Yes, you might be earning millions in a few years and you might make partner, but you will pay for that one way or another. There is a cost. So the hours, the stress, the overload, the workload, the increasing expectations of clients. Most accountants are questioning whether the pain is worth the gain, whether it's all worth it, whether the stress is worth it. I saw a stat that said 1/3 of accountants are considering leaving the profession in the next 5 years. And that's probably in quite a few professions. It's certainly in teaching, which is where I came from. I'm a former high school math teacher. So there's a lot of people coming in and then out of the clergy and ministry and pastoring and churches and things like that as well. There's a lot where people are questioning, is this the right place for me? Is this the best that my career can offer me? So these are not just stats, these are signals, these are red flags. So maybe the answer is not necessarily to leave the profession, but the answer is to change how you show up in the profession and what you expect from your accounting career. So let's break this down a little bit and look at the stages of career and what you might do to make accounting work. So being a little bit more practical now. If you are starting out, you might be in your first role, entry-level role. You may even be studying. You may even be at university considering whether to major in accounting, or you may be doing your A-levels or equivalent, high school, and thinking, is an accounting degree a path that you want to follow? So you don't have to love it yet. A lot of people fall into accounting by accident, but you are trying to build a foundation and gain some interest, a foothold in this. So what should you focus on? Well, there's the degree, there's the qualification, and there's lots of different accounting qualifications. The AAT, the Association of Accounting Technicians, is another one where it's perhaps not so heavy as a chartered accounting or CPA role, but there are lots of ways to get a ticket to the game. So look at the different career paths and qualifications within accounting. You could even do accounting type work without an accounting qualification at all. I've heard stories of businesses that have given their accounting work to people that are accredited in certain kinds of software because they know inside out the bookkeeping and compliance regulations of that particular business. So we know accounting qualification is a ticket to credibility. That's great. So get your qualification, get your degree, get whatever it is. It is going to be useful. You will find a way to utilize it, I'm sure. If you're in a role or you get a chance for internships and trial placements, look at the different areas, try different areas, because audit is different to tax, it's different to advisory, it's different to an accountant in industry, it's different to an accountant in practice. You don't need to lock yourself in too soon, but it's wise to expose yourself to a lot of different areas and do reverse interviews. This is where you chat to people who are in certain roles and you get a lowdown on what does your day look like? What does the average week look like? What do you enjoy about your role? What don't you like about the role? What would you advise about someone coming into this particular area of accounting? What is your next move after this? How did you get to this place? So starting to do that due diligence on people in certain roles will give you great insight into whether that role is a fit for you. So get the qualifications, try different areas, and learn the tech. There's no way around this. Tech's not a future thing now. It's a present thing. It's not imminent. It's here. We've seen it. We're probably using it already. AI, the automation, the data, the tools, the cloud, it's all your friend. And the younger you are, the better. You've got a foothold in this. But even the 40s, 50s, 60s, you got to get fluent now. Otherwise, you will become irrelevant and the tech will take over. And the other wise move that your professors and mentors and coaches should be telling you is to build your network. Get into professions early, get a profile on LinkedIn, get a presence, start sharing some thoughts. Your network is going to open up more doors than your resume. 90% of jobs are never advertised. So success is knowing and being known. Think about that. So build your network early, and that's going to give you options. It's going to give you choices. And at this stage in your career, it's about setting yourself up, keeping your eyes open, keeping your network open, saying yes to more than you say no to, and building up your reputation and putting some miles on the clock, as it were. So that's it if you're at the beginning. Let's say you're in your first 5-10 years or so. So you've got a foot in the door, you've got some credibility, you're building confidence, you're starting to hone your craft. It might be getting repetitive. You might be locked into a certain office or a certain element of working. You might be wondering what's next. So here's what you might do practically. Number one is develop some expertise in a particular area. You want to develop your reputation, being known for something, a breakthrough idea or an area you can shine. It could be a niche, it could be a community, it could be an aspect of accounting. It could be a crusade or a cause that you're particularly passionate about, but pick an area that you can shine a light on and get known for. That's going to open up some doors for you. Volunteer for things. Ask if you can lead something, a process, a project, an integration, a technology initiative, a report, some kind of research. Leadership is often asked for or built before it's given. So volunteer for stuff, put your hand up for stuff, make stuff happen, initiate things. Third thing you can do at this stage in your career is solicit feedback from managers, from peers. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, they say. So ask others how you are doing. This improves you faster. If you're open to this, particularly radical candor, as they say. What am I doing well? What am I not doing well? What could I improve on? What are the options for me? What do I need to upskill on? Where am I falling short? What does the future look like for me? What skills do I need to be learning now to stay relevant and influential in the next 3-5 years? So that curiosity helps by asking questions, and then build commercial awareness, business savvy, whatever you want to call it. Know how your business makes money, just like your owners know how they make money. You've got to think more entrepreneurially and know what your clients care about. You've got to get into their world of a business owner, a business person, and you understand business, obviously, but unless you're an accounting firm owner, you've never owned a business, you've never been entrepreneurial. So be more commercially astute, more commercially aware. Read more business magazines, stuff that's going on outside your sector, things that's going on in other, perhaps unrelated, and be more generally world aware. That's going to help you at this stage in your career. What do you do when you built your commercial awareness? Well, what you're doing here is you're going from doing the work to owning it. You're not just coasting, you're not just going through the motions, you're building momentum and you're upskilling yourself so that you are best placed for the next move, the next 5 to 10 years. So what if you've been in the game 10 years or more? You're a seasoned professional, you're probably in management, you've got a leadership role, you've been through a few business cycles, you've seen the odd recession or two, you've seen things come and go. You might feel like you plateaued, you may feel like you burnt out, you may feel like, what's the point? Where's my legacy? What am I changing here? Is it just about the money? Am I looking for an exit? So this is a season to shift gears. So you've got to look at where the profession's going. We talk a lot about this on this show about what the trends and disruptors are in accounting and what you need to know to stay ahead of those. So sustainability, tech, risk, advisory, regulatory stuff, maybe diversity, equity, inclusion, maybe ESG, whatever it is, but see where the profession's going, see how tech and PE is changing the game and get on the right side of those decisions. Second thing you could do is push for some kind of variety, mix things up a little bit, join a new committee, lead a new internal change or initiative, get involved in coaching and mentoring, break up your routine, and look for some spice in your life, as the song goes. And next thing you can do, number 3, is watch your energy. As you get older, we do get a bit jaded. Things become commonplace for us. We get what's called proximity bias. That's where you get so close to what you're doing that you don't see it as remarkable. You see it as quite mundane. Whereas from the outside, it's incredible, some of the results that you're bringing about and the outcomes you're generating for your clients and your stakeholders. So that's an important thing to do, is break up your own routine. Watch your energy, protect your calendar, guard your mental health, delegate more, learn to say no, set some boundaries. This is important. So we're keeping ahead of where the trends are. We are pushing for variety. We're watching our energy and our mental health. And the last thing I'd say to you, if you are well seasoned in your career, is just think about why you got into this job in the first place, why you chose this career. Getting back to not necessarily basics, but rediscovering your love for accounting. Was it solving problems? Was it helping clients? Was it building something? Have you been moved away from that? Slowly but surely, you've gone away from what you love. I got that in teaching for a little bit, because you'll appreciate the higher up you go in teaching, the further away you get from the children. And that's what I loved about teaching mathematics. It was the impact and the interaction with the kids. And I ended up coaching them to pass tests and getting more and more involved in the politics and behind the scenes of teaching than I did in the actual teaching. So go find more of what you love. So that's the time to shift gears when you've been in 10, 20 years. And let's finally speak to the partners, the people that are at the top of the tree. You're at the top of the technical ladder, and your contribution to accounting now is about growth. It's about impact. It's about succession. It's about leadership and getting the next generation in place. So here I'd say be visible, utilize and offer up your network. Clients will see you as a signpost to great services, products, people. They see you as a trusted advisor and also as a leader in your firm. You're setting culture. You're setting an example. So you're what they call a culture carrier, a culture carrier. So you set the tone. You are somebody that people will look up to and look into. So be visible and put that on show, put that out there. You've still got a lot to offer and a lot to share. And younger people coming through, they want to see somebody like them who has gone down a path they want to go on. So you can inspire people. Drive innovation is the second thing you can do when you get older. Don't lose sight of the fact that we've got to change. We're always changing. It's the one constant. So we're not reacting to change. Let's lead change. Let's push change. Let's drive a change agenda, not for the sake of it, but let's show that we are flexible and agile despite our older years. Another thing you can do is, I mentioned it briefly with the coaching element, but is to focus on succession. Who's coming up behind you? Who can you build? Somebody probably got alongside you when you were in this game and believed in you and gave you faith and gave you confidence and gave you some wisdom. So who are you building up now? Who's going to carry your legacy? Legacy is a big word, but even the most introverted people in the world will influence thousands in their lifetime. So think about helping the next people coming through, particularly if you're going. If you are going, if your retirement is imminent, then you don't just want to take the money and run, do you? You came into this because you're a good person and you want to make a difference and you want to help people. So let's be a good ambassador for the profession that has served you and pass that on, pass that love for the profession on. Look after people. And it is about talent, isn't it? Retention is a leadership priority. And it's not a nice to have in looking after your people, but I'm not just talking about making sure they're technically proficient and up to date and relevant, but mental health and well-being, taking an interest in people, asking how they're doing, help them get their hands on the steering wheel of their own career, but equally you can guide them and inspire them and shift them. That's that leadership role is people first, serve them. And finally, you've got a role of governance in your firm. You probably have equity. Maybe you own the whole firm. You could be the boss. And so you have a responsibility towards managing the firm like a business. You may be at partnership level, but you've still got decision-making responsibilities unless private equity is taking you all over that or off that. So that's a mindset shift, isn't it? That you're involved in something bigger than yourself. It's not just about you. If you own a firm, and you've got people around you, then you wear all the hats. It might be just you as a solo practitioner. You might have your first hire or a few people, 2 or 3 partners. I'm not sure, but you wear strategy, you wear sales, you run people, you run culture. You don't necessarily have a boss. You have clients and staff that rely on you. So your focus in maintaining your mojo has got to be on scale, sustainability, keeping it going, keeping ahead of the trends, the technology, systemizing things so that stuff can run without you, so that you've got a business and an empire and not just a job. You want to be building people around you and building them up, mentoring them, delegating stuff. We talked recently on this pod about the importance of context in building influence. So not just doing the what and the how, but context is the why and the where. So getting out of your own way and not just giving people answers, but empowering them and getting them to think about what they're doing. So delegation, decisions, not just about doing the tasks. Invest in marketing, invest in growth, invest in building the profile of you as an ambassador of the firm, or perhaps those around you that have something to say about what you're doing, but consistent inbound interest. So you're not just a well-kept secret. You're staying relevant and you're not solely relying on word of mouth and referrals to grow your business. Yes, that's great, but you don't want to rely on third parties to say how fast your business grows. So having a brand out there, when you're the owner, the corporate brand is your brand, pretty much. When you're a partner in a big firm, you're not the corporate brand. So last thing, after building your personal brand, because we know people buy people, if you're the owner, then just keep learning. A good client of mine, Chris Johnson, you can look him up on LinkedIn. It does 401k audits for businesses. And he's such an inveterate learner. He never stops. He's doing some incredible things, even though he owns the firm, doing some incredible things with AI and dashboards and agents and things like that. And you don't need to be a tech genius to do this. Chris is just naturally curious. So stay learning, stay agile, find other firm owners, find a tribe, find a community, find people like you. That's the game at this stage. So let's wrap this up. Accounting is transferable as a career, incredibly transferable. You can go into all kinds of things. Your qualification is not wasted. This is a passport to other roles, CFO roles, fractional roles, financial roles, ops roles, consultants, business owner, entrepreneur, all kinds of roles. Accounting trains you to think logically, to see patterns, to analyze the numbers, to solve problems, and those skills work anywhere. They are universal. So you're not stuck. I was stuck in teaching. I had to really concentrate on an intentional pivot out of teaching because there were some transferable skills, but not as much as accounting. So you're skilled and you are mobile. So accounting gives you a great career. It pays well. It has global relevance, international application. More importantly, it gives you a platform for future options. You've got doors that you can go through. And if you're feeling bored or disillusioned or you're thinking, is it all worth it? Don't just walk away. Let's just go through some of these applications here and change what you focus on, change who you're learning from, change who you're getting around, change your skill set, change where you're applying those skills. There's always another level if you're willing to play a long game and stay in the game. So like any profession, really, this is a profession that will teach you, it will stretch you, it will frustrate you, of course, but it will reward you if you're willing to stay the course and navigate it and stay fresh in there. So whether you're starting at the beginning or you're at the top of the mountain, the same question applies. How can accounting work better for you? That's the real question. And that is the end of the Accounting Influencers podcast episode. I'm Rob Brown. I've been your host. If I can help you build your personal brand, then I work with a few people to interview them once a month to talk about what they're passionate about and what they're good at. And in a conversational style, we bring out from that loads of great video snippets and thought leadership pieces. And it's a really good way to create content where you don't have to think. So the future belongs to the people that stay sharp, stay useful, stay relevant, stay fresh, stay in the game, stay influential. That's what the audience of the Accounting Influencers podcast does. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.